Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 9th of April. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer to your own shots, and I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, now, in terms of the ceasefire, do we actually have a ceasefire? What kind of ceasefire is it? Does anyone realize what it is, or know what it is, really? What we've got is a US ceasefire, which is based on the US accepting a 10-point plan from Iran, which is why Iran's been celebrating victory, because this was their 10-point plan, which would basically be pretty much the surrender of the US. So, i.e., they're basically packing up and taking their toys home and conceding that Iran is now the power in the region. Except that the Americans had a 15-point plan, and it does appear that Trump thought that the Iranians had accepted his 15-point plan, which was effectively the plan where the Iranians would surrender. Therefore, and this is why both sides have declared complete victory. So what does that leave us with? Well, we've got a 2-week pause for conflict, for a 2-week ceasefire from the US, during which something might potentially happen. I'm not sure there actually are any talks going on, because at the moment they're arguing about whose points have been accepted. The Iranians saying, absolutely, we had our 10 points and that's why we're here, because the Americans accepted them. The Americans basically saying, hey, listen, we won. We are basically negotiating the terms on which we will finish the conflict, but obviously you lost. So we will see. We've got 2 weeks. Maybe something will happen. In the meantime, I've got quite a lot of patterns suggesting things will go higher. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed. I think the Iranians are shooting less at their neighbors, but not nothing. And the Israelis, who have not, the Israelis have stopped firing at Iran, but I'm not even sure that's true. But certainly they're still going full guns in Lebanon. So we will see how this develops. Certainly, I think there's room for some upside. Strait of Hormuz is still closed. That's likely to send oil up, because, well, that's kind of the reason that oil was up. So I'm still thinking we might have some room to the upside here. I've got some nice patterns. We've got some nice targets. The Americans haven't started shooting again. There is room for some moves upwards. So we've got nice targets above across the board. We haven't got any sell signals here at the moment. We did have one on ESTX, I think. Oh yeah, we still got one on ESTX. Nothing on Nikkei, but we've got a lot of targets above which are just looking as though they should make a target. And I'm wondering whether they're actually going to, or whether this will just all collapse downwards. But I've got to say, the rally so far has given us a slightly different picture. In terms of SPX, obviously we've got a very nice looking inverted shoulder target up in the 69.12 area. Not really anything suggesting that we're not going to make that, apart from the fact that the talks don't appear to actually really be happening. We're back up testing the 50 DMA. We will see. Lovely gap up over the 200, and with a bit of a following wind, we can actually see a retest the high here, which could give us a really nice looking larger double top. We shall see how that goes. All right, looking at Qs, obviously we saw a break up, broke back up, gapped back over the 200 DMA and the 50 DMA. So nice move. We've got a target up in the 67.5 area, and obviously that's looking pretty well set up for a potential time high retest as well. But I'm wondering how credible that is in the absence of any actual, talks. So in terms of Dire, we gapped back up. We're testing the 50 DMA at the moment. So we made the daily RSI 5 buy signal target. We're getting pretty close to making the possible near miss target on the RSI 14 buy signal too. We've got an IHS which is broken up with a target in the 486.25 area, and again, it's a very nice pattern. I've been watching an awful lot of stuff, and I'll be keeping an eye on what's happening on the news. Got to say, this is about as confusing as they come. this will start to shake out into the form of what people actually want, maybe. We shall see. IWM, nice break up, broke over the 50 DMA, broke up and made it to the 3SD upper band, actually. So the original head and shoulders here failed. So actually I'll take the arrow for that out. So we have basically got a failed head and shoulders with a target, reaction target, really back up at a retest of the all-time high. We shall see. But obviously up at the 3SD upper band is suggesting, we might pause for a couple of days. And really the situation's so confusing that I think we may well see a general pause for the next couple of days. But I think if people don't start shooting again in a big way, then we might actually get some more upside anyway. Don't really have a pattern here on DAX. We've made it back up into the ribbon, which is all of these together, 200 DMA, 100 DMA, 50 DMA, and we're testing that at the moment. And Nikkei, nice move up here. Hasn't made it to the target yet, but the I think I'm going to call this as having made the possible near miss target on the sell signal here, but didn't quite make it. But I mean, so we made the RSI 5 buy signal target. So at the moment, we shall see things really in terms of where we are and who's agreed what, and whether anyone's got anything to talk about. This could really get a lot more confusing. We shall see. All right, DX. DX is confused too. We broke down from this double top, and then it has stalled. We have a nice looking IHS, which is broken up here on the euro, which again is stalled. So we're just waiting to see. Not a lot else to see on the other currencies of much interest. In terms of oil, we are seeing a rally. This could be a bear flag, but the Strait of Hormuz is closed. We could basically be just drifting back up to the highs here because we saw the big moves down. I mean, CL was down like over $25. It's now gone back up about 9 of them. But the Strait of Hormuz is closed. It may well just drift back up. So HO is drifting back up. RBOB is drifting back up. NG wasn't really affected by the war in any case, and I'm wondering about. I've got a possible target down at about the 2.61 area on the bigger picture. Looking at GC. GC is also confused. We've got a break up. We've got an IHS target in the 5111 area. We also do have a potential little level top here. In terms of SI, possible little level top here too. Didn't really have a nice enough IHS for me to mark up the arrows and put in the target. Again, kinda an IHS here on palladium. Kinda an IHS here on platinum, but you can see these are the shoulders very unbalanced. They're just not very good looking patterns. No, the shoulders aren't unbalanced on this one. This is probably the best of the ones I haven't marked up here on platinum. On HG, we had a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed last night, and I'm wondering whether this overall thing here is just all a big bear flag. In terms of KC, this looks like an overall bear flag forming. SB, fairly sizable correction. I haven't marked it in yet, but there's a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing here. I'm wondering about a reversal back up. CC, overall, I think we're forming a big bear flag here. On CT, CT is thinking about resuming the upside, and if the strait's going to stay closed, there's no reason it shouldn't. Lumber, wondering whether that's going to resume the downside. Wheat, bullish consolidation. Corn, bullish consolidation. Soy, forming an IHS on IHS right shoulder. So this is on the verge of giving us some pretty nice bullish patterns across the board on cotton, wheat, corn, and soy. ZL, not quite sure what's happening here. Potential level top setup. Live cattle has continued higher and is pausing a bit. And HE, I am wondering about this being a flag and breaking back up towards a retest of the high. That could retest the low first, though. That could set up a very nice and proportional double bottom if it does that. Right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Okay, so I think that's a wrap. I will be watching a lot of news today to see if I can get some sense out of the current situation. That doesn't look as though it's going to be particularly easy, but I'll be watching to see also what physical attacks are being made, and I'm trying to get a feel for how long these talks might last and whether they're actually going to make it 2 weeks. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.